Okay, so we're recording. So it's gonna be kind of ad hoc today. So we do a, for all of the challenge groups when you're getting started, and it's just kind of, it's a little overwhelming when you start and you're being asked to do, here's your fitness, here's your nutrition, here's everything. And it's all kind of being thrown at you, and it's a lot of life changes. And you may have tried things before, and they may have worked, some things may have worked really well, and some things may have not worked so well, but you're here for a reason. We're all here to learn. And this is what this really is to be a learning process. So I don't want people to get frustrated or overwhelmed. So we started doing these calls because meal planning and meal prep seems to be the biggest area where people are they were just kind of falling, I don't want to say short, but they were getting the most frustrated. And when you get frustrated with something, you tend to like push back on it and not want to do it. But if we're not focusing on our results or not focusing on our nutrition, then our results are going to be, we're not going to get the results that we want. And then if you're not getting the results that you want, then again, you tend to want to not stick with it. And so we just want to give you every opportunity to set you up for success. This call is going to be, it's 30 minutes. I'm going to go over some of the highlights of why, like, of things and like kind of an approach for you into meal planning and meal prepping. Some of the tools that we have out here that a lot of people aren't aware of. And then I want to open this up, at the end, we're going to open this up as an opportunity for any questions that you might have. Because I assure you, I've been doing this for a while now, but I wasn't perfect at it in the beginning. And so having the opportunity to ask these questions, a lot of other people are probably having the same questions or same struggles. And so we share that so that we can get answers for everybody. So whatever you have questions on, and even if it's not nutrition, like maybe you're struggling in an area of the workout, if you're not sure of a feature in whatever it is that you're having on here, we're on this journey together. And so let's figure it out. Okay. Okay. So where to start? Oops, I grabbed my wrong sheet. No wonder I'm looking at it like I don't know where my notes are. I have to write everything down or else I will start talking and we will be here like 2 hours later and it'll be just kind of a mess and everybody will be wondering what I'm talking about. So we get into the challenge groups and we come in here and we're full of the vigor and excitement and everything. And I'm here to help share with you what has worked for us to create this community so that we can kind of like together, somebody posts something or they're having a struggle or whatever it is. We create this community to do this together because it's a lot easier when you know that somebody's going to be like, hey, Sarah, hey, Joe, hey, whatever, where are you at? Have you checked in? And you have that accountability. And so that public accountability, even on the busiest of schedules, doesn't mean that we have to be going in and we don't necessarily go to a gym or we don't necessarily go have time to go to check in with a group or whatever it is. So it takes on a lot of different forms. And one of them for me in my busy schedule has been online accountability, where I can still check in with people that are all over the place. And so when I first started, I started in a group that I was still in Germany. And my coach was in Pennsylvania, and there were people from literally around the world that were able to check in. And I like the process that it's not a set time that you have to check in. I will post at a set time of the day, but it's on your schedule. So this is really about creating a lifestyle for you and what works for you. So if you see somebody doing one thing and you're like, oh my God, I need to do it this way and it's just not working for me, modify it. Like get used to tailoring it to what works in your lifestyle. But you take it and you apply these principles throughout the day to your life. So if you are an early morning person, get up and work out in the morning. I'm always going to suggest actually that you do your workout first thing in the morning. Like you get up, do whatever you need to and get your workout done just to check that box. Even if you say you're not a morning person, it does a couple things for you. A, that box gets checked and it gets done. B, you are now in a burning mode for a good part of the morning. It gets your energy going, and it just starts you off with a really great day. And so then you have the opportunity to not let the excuses of the day get in your way. But if you are just absolutely, a coach on our team is absolutely not a morning person. Like she is a night owl. She has done everything that she can to adjust. And when she tries to do the morning schedule, she doesn't get her workouts done. So she just works out at night and that's her thing. But she learned to adapt that to her schedule. And that's important. But we talk about the workouts. We talk about even drinking Shakeology one time a day. And if we are eating, 5-6 times a day, that's drinking that Shakeology every single day. That's only 10% of your nutrition. So you can't rely on the Shakeology alone to combat your nutrition and to get these results. Because if you are going to just do that and then eat like crap the rest of the time, you can't blame the Shakeology for not working. You can't blame the workouts, which the workouts, those 30-minute workouts, that's 1% of your day. So what are you doing for the rest of the 99% of your day for activity? What are you doing for the rest of the 90% of your day for nutrition? And so this is where we start to focus on the bigger picture here. And so the first piece, for some of you, it needs to be baby steps. And really the baby steps are, your minimum baby steps are your consistency. And I'm going to drink Shakeology every day. I am going to do my workouts 5 to 6 times a day. Whatever your program calls for, you commit to those programs in the very beginning. The second piece of it that you start to do and that you start to commit to is your nutrition. And it's planning out your week. You know you're going to have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and at least 2 snacks. All right. And we start to figure out ways that it becomes a little bit easier. Like, what do we like? If you don't like eggs and you see it on somebody's meal plan, you're not going to put eggs on your meal plan. A lot of this is tailorable to you. So if you haven't already, I want you to go into Beachbody On Demand and find Fixate and find the foundational the foundational videos and start with Fix 101. Beachbody has come up with this program. It's called the Containers. It's a portion control container system. And I've only got 2 of them here today. But if you guys get your challenge packs and you open it up and you look at them and you're like, what? If you're like me, you opened them up and went, what in the what? She expects me to eat how much? Like, these containers look really small. And you're like, and I don't know why am I eating a blue of this and an orange of that? And it's got its whole lingo in its conversation. Stop and take a step back for a second, because you know what? Each one of these colors means a food group, a type of food group. And as you start to read about it, and I think they did an excellent job with the Fix 101 in starting to explain that and kind of explain where it came from, that you can even eat healthy foods, too much of healthy foods, and that's going to be counteractive to what you're supposed to be doing. So number 1, watch the Fix 101 videos. And then I just want to, we're going to go over the containers here in a minute and what they mean. I've only got 2 of them today. But still, we're going to go over some tips as to how we plan it. And then what I also want to know from you guys, here's step 1. So you're watching the videos, you're kind of getting some knowledge. You're like, yeah, okay, all right, this makes sense. I think I can do this, because we're smart people. We can do this. It's just whether we want to do this. All right. So it's the effort on your part to become knowledgeable about it. And that's what those daily tips are that you keep getting in the group, is to get these knowledge factors, to learn that knowledge. It compounds. Like, you're not expected to know everything the first day. You're not expected to know meal planning and prep the first week. You're not even probably going to get it right the first week or second week. I don't say this to discourage you. I say this to tell you that, you know what, you're human. We all are. There are still weeks that I do great on my meal prep, and there are weeks that I am just like, I am hanging by a thread and barely getting through. But I know the principles of what I need to do, the basics. And so the foundational video, that 101, is going to sit there and tell you, that your green is for veggies and your reds are for proteins. Now, out of all the other containers that you have, those 2 are probably your most important. When I approach meal planning and I look at it, almost every meal or snack will have a red in it. It will have a protein in it. So your Shakeology is automatically a red. Hard-boiled eggs are a red. Any of your meats, cottage cheese, you got your Greek yogurt, any of those. So go into it with a mindset of, okay, I need to make sure I have a red in almost every 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6 of your meals or snacks that you're doing. So that's number 1. So now you've looked, and I'm going to back up for just 1 second. If you guys have gone through the program and figured it out, there is a nutrition plan in there. You go through the calculator in Fix, and it tells you what containers that you were supposed to be eating, like the number of containers. So X amount of reds, X amount of greens, X amount of purples, based on what your activity, your weight, and age level is. So once you figure that out, and that's a key part, because you're like, how much am I supposed to be eating? Once you figure out what container bracket you are in, like plan A, plan B, plan C, then you'll be able to start plugging in the reds and the greens. And then before we start doing that, and you figured out the plans like that, I want you to note that there is a calorie range on it. And this is really important because we were in a mindset for so long of calorie counting, and we don't count calories anymore. So if that was a really complicated process for you, just take a step back and just trust the process of, if it says to eat it, whatever fits in here, eat whatever fits in here, okay? And don't get caught up on the numbers of it. It's a range, and your body is going to be okay with it. It needs to be eating the size of what goes in here, not the calories, because their calories range in healthy calories on the list when you start looking at the nutrition plan. And so we go in and I think of it as a grid, and I've shared what I call my blank meal planner. It's nothing fancy. This is one way that has worked for me. And you're going to find there's a lot of information out there that we'll be able to find that works for you. I'm going to show you a couple tools that helped me get started. And I just kind of kept, there's no magic secret. I'm going to tell you that right now. There's no magic secret that you're like, wow, okay, hey. So it's just short of having a professional nutritional chef that comes to your house. This is going to be incumbent on you to learn, but it is able to be learned as a lifestyle. And that's the exciting thing about the containers, is that the containers don't limit you. It's a very flexible program. It's very much geared towards the lifestyle that you're eating healthy combinations, but you'll notice every one of the programs, if you go into on-demand, has a nutritional component to it. Open that up. And so especially if you start with 21-day fix, you open up that nutritional program there, and it says, there's like a restaurant eating out guide. There is, oh, by the way, if you guys know me, I like my wine. So there is the opportunity to substitute out and still have wine, or like the blues are my absolute favorite container. That is my favorite container. And I look at that little tiny blue and I'm like, oh, I like cheese. I like avocado, you take it and look at that little container. I get to have cheese or whatever it is I want every single day. I just have it in smaller portions. And that was my problem. I didn't do well with the mentality that says you can't have this, you can't have that. The minute they told me that, guess what? I wanted it. And so this is why, and I also think it's easy because, like I said, there isn't a complicated formula to figure out what I'm supposed to be eating. And I've done a lot of different nutritional programs. So if it's calorie counting or macros or anything that requires like this whole, I don't think about it. I throw it in here, and if it fits in this container, you eat it. That's it, period. And then we get to the next point, is in these containers. What I want you guys to get used to doing is taking your plate when you're at home and not eating from the containers. Don't eat from the containers. It is a mental win and it is a physical win. And the reason I'm asking you not to eat from your containers is because when you dump it out on a plate, and I'm sorry, I just have trail mix here today. We're going on, this is what I got. I'm traveling right now, so we're still doing the call. But when you dump it out on a plate and you see how much is there on the plate, like that purple cup didn't look like a lot, but that just filled up like half of a plate right there. And so you get a better idea of what a portion looks like. And what that does is it sets you up for being able to go out, and you're not, when you go out to eat, you're not like, oh, excuse me, can you put this in the, can you put this in my container, please, so I can make sure I'm eating enough? That's not what you do. Or if you go over to a friend's house and be like, oh, hold on a second, I'm going to scoop up from the, can you just make sure I have one green serving of vegetables, please? No. Like I said before, everything is adaptable and it's adjustable. So what I want you to get used to doing with these containers is when you prep things, use these as kind of like a measuring cup, and scoop them in and dump them out onto your plate, into your Tupperware. So you can start seeing how full is that Tupperware really supposed to be. You can eat too much salad. It is true. And you can put too many bad things on your salad. That is going to start counteracting what your nutrition. Now, with that said, they're also really great snack containers too. So I'm not saying to not ever use them or to only use them as a measuring cup. I love to put my fruit in there. If I'm having, if I have a serving of purple, this fits my raspberries super nice. And the lids seal on it really well now. So I can take them to work with me so that I don't have to dirty a second Tupperware as well. So does that make sense? Is that kind of understanding like where the containers, like how to use the containers? and these are just some areas that I struggled with in meal planning and prep when I first got started. Was like, I would try to eat from those containers. Do you know how hard it is to eat a salad from the containers? Like, to eat the little greens, and then I was like, but the cucumbers, and I need 2 greens. You dump it in, you use it as a measuring cup. The other tip I will give you guys is about the portions. Nobody says you have to eat one full container every single time. So if you are like me, and I like the blues, and like maybe I want cheese on my chicken for dinner, and I wanted cheese on my salad for lunch, guess what? I can do half of a container of blue at lunch, and I can split it and do half at dinner that night. And so you can do a half or a quarter, and doesn't have to be a full. Conversely, if you get toward that dinner that night and you still have 2 greens left to eat on veggies, have 2 greens of veggies. It is okay to have a double serving, especially the veggies. We're going to find ways that vegetables are going to be they always seem to be for everybody, like that one, like, I'm not getting enough vegetables in. Okay, fine. So double veggies for dinner. Stick some spinach in your Shakeology, which, by the way, spinach in your Shakeology, I fought it for so long because I was like, there's no way I'm gonna taste it. I'm gonna know it. You do not taste spinach in your Shakeology at all. And boom, you have just gotten your extra serving of vegetables in there. You can do the whole handful, a whole entire container in there, and you blend that up and you will not taste it. So that's kind of an exciting piece too. Now, did you guys know, I just want to make sure I got my notes. We don't eat from the containers. Okay, so the containers themselves and pairing them up, I started to get into this a little bit earlier. The containers themselves, like, we know that we are going to have a protein at just about every meal. We also know that green, like I said, tends to be one of the harder ones. So I fill those 2 in first in what I know that I'm going to be eating. And I have a grid. I shared it last week. I can share it again this week. I'll share it again this week, and I think I'll actually just keep sharing it every week for you guys, because if it's a tool that can be helpful for you, I want you to take it and make it your own. It isn't anything fancy. I'm a spreadsheet person, and I just have my meals lined up here, and I've got my days across here. And what I like doing is, first of all, I will plan out, like, if we are going to have a busy day that I know we're not going to be home late, I put it up at the top as a note. Like, on Mondays, we have Boy Scouts and soccer. We don't get home until it was like 7:30, almost 8 o'clock at night. So we need to have something waiting for us there. Like, I know in my mind, we're not going to be spending even 20 minutes prepping anything. We are going to come in, hit the door, showers, and eat. On Wednesdays, we have soccer again, and my husband has school. So I'm in the same boat again, where it's all on me. So the first thing is to plan, look at your week, look at what you have coming up. Makes a lot of sense, right? You can't have a 20-minute You can't be taking an hour and a half to prep something when you come home and you literally have 10 minutes. Like, can you make it ready-made? Now, another tip that I then do is I'm not really a salad fan. I'll admit it. So you can lose 70 pounds and not be a salad fan. It can happen. I like to take my leftovers from the night before and eat them for my lunch the next day. And it makes it very easy to do a calorie count, and it cuts down on your meal planning and prep that you need to do. Just another tip. If you are a salad person and love them and could eat them every single day, then guess what? Eat a salad every single day. Even eat the same salad every single day. And that's fine. That is okay if that works for you. Some people can eat the same thing every day. Some people need to have that variety and needs to have something different, like, all the time. And that is okay too. Figure out which one you are, which category you are, and then roll with it. And so if you can eat a chicken salad every day, you have 1 portion of the green, and then your toppings, like, you can have some cucumbers and some carrots and, whatever else it is that you like on it, can be a second green. And then you can have a red of protein of chicken, and you chop the chicken up into pieces, and you've used your red container to scoop up that chicken, and now you know how much chicken should be on your salad. And then you decide that you want some vinegar and oil. And so there you've got your teaspoons, and you can use that. So oil, you get 2 teaspoons a day of that. And the vinegar is free. The vinegar is a freebie. So there, you've figured out your lunch. They have another really cool thing. Like, maybe you do a mason jar. If you guys have heard mason jars, the mason jar salads, and you can prep those ahead of time even. And they stay all week. So they stay fresh for the entire 5 days, because you seal them up, and the air does not get into it, so that lettuce doesn't go bad. And I had to try that one first. I didn't believe anybody when they were telling me that. I thought they were telling me a story. So there's different ways to approach it. Some people, if you're on the go, like I take my lunch and I take my snacks and everything every day. I look at it and I think of easy snacks that I can take with me. I think of easy things that I can have on the go with me. I have a microwave at work, so I'm able to heat up, say, oatmeal, so I can have my carbs, and I'll heat up some oatmeal and I'll have my hard-boiled eggs already made up. Things that I can easily have on hand, or things that I can make big batches of. I know you guys have probably seen the picture, and I shared it the other day, of like the meal planning, the meal prep of pizza. Like you just do, I tried this meal planning thing, and I did pizza, and you've got all the containers, and you can put the lids on them and put them right in the refrigerator. And it's a beautiful thing. You know, the joke is pizza because it's easy, but people will do that and they will prep for the entire week. They will eat the exact same thing and they portion it out, and they've got plenty of space in the refrigerator, and they have now just made all 5 lunches, all 5 dinners, all of their snacks, and they put them right in the refrigerator and off they go. And that doesn't, like, we don't have enough space in our house for that. So we will batch prep. So everything is it's ready. We just have to scoop it up and take care of it. The last part I wanted to show you guys today is that, did you guys know that Beachbody actually has a meal planner tool? Matt, good morning.
I'm sorry, I have to move you.
No, this is okay. Oh, no, not the champagne. Yes, we get mimosas this morning.
Just a couple.
Just a couple. Got it. Can you get the door? You okay? All right. Yeah, so kind of exciting. We're at the retreat this weekend. We're wrapping it up today, and we get to celebrate with some mimosas. That's the other thing. I think I mentioned that earlier. I like wine, and you can substitute out stuff like that. So you can still go out and enjoy, and you don't ever have to feel like you're missing out on things, and I really like that. But what I wanted to share with you guys is, and I'm doing this on my phone, so now I've got my computer. So we're going to, hold on. I'm going to flip this around, and you're going to actually see it from my computer. Can you see that okay? All right. So we're going to get in. If you go to the Team Beachbody website, so you go to www.teambeachbody.com, make sure you sign in, because if you don't, you're not going to see this feature. Okay. So you get into here, you get into the Team Beachbody site. It looks familiar. You see up here in the left-hand corner, here's your Beachbody On Demand. We all know where that is because most of us get our workouts from there, which is super smart. I digress for a hot second, but you know, I'm here traveling, and I downloaded my workouts ahead of time because I knew that the Wi-Fi, like there'd be, 40 of us on Wi-Fi. Downloaded them and was still able to do my workouts this morning. It was great. So no excuses into not getting your workouts in anymore. All right, so if you go over to Eat Smart, which is that third tab right here, you say Eat Smart, and here is the meal planner. So we got the meal planner tool, and you can go in, and I've got it set up already, but if you're not really sure where you fall into the category, like what kind, there is a wizard right here. You go through, you answer a couple of questions, and it comes up and says, here is my personalized meal plan. And I am I'm working on an ab program right now, so I went for low carb express. I have about 1,300 calories. And it's important to note that this meal planner tool was created prior to the color-coded containers. So when you see the calorie number right there, you're like, oh my God, I thought it was supposed to be in a range. This was created before the containers. So you're going to see the actual calories as a specific number. So you can go to my meal planner. This is so cool. I'm so excited for this for you guys, especially for anybody that's starting out, that just the whole thought of putting together meals like this is just too overwhelming. People struggle with that. Some people love the prep. Some people love the plan. This is so great. Look at this. It spits out a meal plan for you. On Sunday, you're going to have your Shakeology. For a snack, you can have some crunchy ham and cheese and veggie stacks. I get a salmon burger with sesame ginger mayonnaise, and you're like, okay, that sounds really great. All right, how in the heck do I make it? You click on that and look at that right here. It gives you all the ingredients, the whole recipe, the nutrition facts. Oh, I've got to rate this. And then you can rate it, like how much you like it. There is also, yep. So then here's the preparation. You can print it out A lot of times I'll print it and save it as a PDF, and I can save it right to my phone. So I will often make things right from my phone in my kitchen. And so then you get into here, you can close it. You can look, it can give you a daily view or a weekly view. So check this out. You can look here. I just want to look at Monday or Sunday. I think this is Sunday. I just want to look at Sunday. And it'll give you everything that you're going to be eating. It gives you what your this gives you your macro breakdown. So people that are looking for macros, like especially if you're weightlifting or doing stuff like that, you can see what your breakdown of foods are going to be each day. And these recommendations. So it's a really powerful tool. I'm going to go back to the weekly view because then you can turn around, you can print this out. And it's going to print, you could print your weekly recipes. You could literally just print them out right here, have all of your recipes, and then you can start prepping all of them. And I really like that about it. Oops, let me go back. If you get into here and you're like, I hate salmon, I don't want to eat salmon, and you're going to switch something out. You're like, oh my God, this is terrible. You can go to edit. And right over here, you see that red X over on the right-hand side there, and you can delete it. I'm not going to delete it because I actually like this recipe, but you can delete it, and then you can start and go over to like find a recipe, and you can add it to your meal plan. So if you decide you don't like salmon, but you want a chicken salad instead, you can go over and find a fun chicken salad recipe over here under lunch. See, it gives you a keyword search if you want chicken, if you want a type of food, like see if you wanted chicken or turkey, or if you wanted a salad, you wanted some pasta, or here, if you wanted to do it, it's the advanced search, and it's a specific type of food. Like me, I love Hispanic food or Italian food, love it. If that's what you are craving, like I'm just having a craving for Italian food tonight, click on that and it will give you a recipe. So it's really, and they're all the healthy recipes and tasty, and most of them are really easy to make too. And so as you grow, you can go over, you'll heart things. Did you see me do that earlier where it says rate your meal? You go into the burger again, and you see my rating here. After a while, you start building, slowly but surely, you will build a nutrition base to, oh, there it is, my favorite meals. And I'm going to turn this back around for a second, to my favorite meals. And it will build a library for you of like your handy recipes. Because when you start thinking about it and you're like, wait a minute, what was that I really liked, or I'm not really sure, or maybe you get into Pinterest. We're going to talk about Pinterest in a second, but you get into that scroll of Pinterest and you get lost in there. This becomes a very great online portable recipe box for you. And so it's a really powerful tool to get you started. So if the thought of doing a plan or like piecing things together like that just overwhelms you, go into here and start with this. Start with this, and it'll give you a breakdown of what you need to be eating at different times during the day. Super easy. And then you can modify it. And each week, it'll give you a new plan each week. You can go back in there. So I have so many people that cannot grid that out like that. Is just, that's where their block is. And they don't want to do that. Me personally, and I started with this when I was trying to get kind of my mind around it. And then we kind of modified and grew into what I do now with my gridding, so I can try new recipes and add them in there. So I've got new recipes to bring back to you guys. The other thing is, if you go on Pinterest, and Pinterest can be, I love Pinterest, but I hate it at the same time, because all of a sudden, like 10, 20, 30 minutes later, I'm like, oh my God, I've just pinned like 20 things and I'm so lost. And I'd never even pinned what I went in there for originally looking for. And I don't know if this happens to the rest of you or not, but it does definitely happen to me. I have set up some boards in there for you guys already. If you go into my site, and there are 21-day fix recipes, there are Shakeology recipes, there are dinner recipes, it's all under the food category, and you can find what you like in there. And you will have seen things that I have already made. There's a category there for things that I either need to try or I need to make healthy for you. That is the other great thing about this. Like, I have a weird affinity for Mexican food and for buffalo anything. Like I love buffalo chicken, but that breading on there, and it's just not good for you at all. Like I went and found recipes out there to make healthy buffalo chicken, and I love it. And actually my husband even likes it too. So if you guys know him, he's kind of Mr. Picky Foodie person. I found something healthy and we like it. So you feel kind of good about that. Use those boards at first and stay focused on only going in there for one specific thing. Don't go in there to try to meal plan. But as you get more experienced with it, you can go in and say, I need a 21-day fixed meal plan. And people have posted their meal plans all over the place there. You also have access to any of my old meal plans too. That's one of the things on the reference library. It's a Google Drive, if you're not familiar with it, but it's Google Drive, and it has just by dates all of the food plans that I've done, and I've started putting in there links to the recipes that I've made so that you guys can have some kind of easy starting points. So bottom line is that there is ways, there is a way. If you have a desire to want to control your nutrition, to, exercise, be healthy, blah, 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 lose weight, whatever it is that you want to do, there is a way, but it is going to be on you to figure out that way. I am here to support you. Any of the coaches in here are here to support you, but I tell you this because I want you to make this a lifestyle. I want you to be able to take it forward and grow with it, and to get those results. But I can't be at your house every single day. I can't be in your kitchen. You don't want me in your kitchen, actually. But even I, who am not a big cook, have been able to find recipes and meals and plans that are able to sustain this and to be able to eat long term. And even if I have a bad day eating or a bad meal eating, guess what? I can turn right back around the very next day and I get right back to it because I know I need to be held accountable in this challenge group. So let me just double check, make sure I got everything I wanted to share with you. All right, and then the last piece that I have is not nutrition related at all, but if you've noticed in the group, we're going through the day and we have daily posts of things that we have to do. How are you being held accountable to your workouts and to your Shakeology? And this is what I want to offer up to you, and I didn't offer it up right away on purpose because I didn't want to overwhelm you. Beachbody has another really cool feature, and it is called the My Challenge Tracker app. And you can go in and you can log your workouts and your Shakeology every day. It's a place that you can store your before pictures, your measurements, and then we can track and we can see and make sure that you're staying on track, and that you're staying on track and you're getting your commitments in every day, whether that's the 5 to 6 workouts a week, it's your 7 Shakeologies or 6 Shakeologies, whatever that you have committed to. I can track and see that you're getting into it. So it's a really great tool. If you are interested in that, I'm going to send out email. So look in your email that you registered in Beachbody. I will send them out tomorrow. I don't know that I'll have time to do it today. I apologize, but I will send them out. Look in your email for an invite, and the invite will have the instructions on how to use the app. I promise you the app is super easy to use. So you're not just adding a new app to your day, or to your already busy, overwhelmed, probably over-apped life. But easy to use. It's plus workout. You can take a picture, it can log a picture, whatever you want to do with it. But I will send those out to you guys. It's optional for you. How we have it set up is that it is it's a running group. So each time you do a challenge group, so don't come in here thinking that you're going to lose 60 pounds in the first 30 days of your journey. It's a journey. It takes longer. It's going to take time for you. It's going to take months, and it's, as you develop and you get stronger with this, it's great. But it takes time, and that's where that support and to keep you, your mind right in this and keep you focused. That's what these groups are great for. And so the Challenge Tracker app will go for, it's ongoing. So you can put your before pictures in and you can keep looking back and seeing your measurements. So you're not trying to find them later on. And oh my God, I took them like 50,000 pictures ago. And it's called the BusyFit VIPers. And that's for all of you guys. Team BusyFit is our team. A team of coaches, team of challengers, that's our community. And I say that because we make busy work for us. We know we're busy. Everybody talks about how busy they are. And I don't want you to use that as an excuse. I want you to use that and understand it and embrace it and just make it work. And so we just make it fit. So morning, guys. All right. So do you guys have any questions? Are there any areas that you're struggling in right now that I could either be providing in the daily posts or that I can answer for you right now? Anybody want to speak up, or they're just like, yeah, okay, I got to go process all of this right now? Got to process?
Gotta process.
All right, got it. And I see Nicole on too. Hi.
Hi.
Perfect.
I was going to offer, Chris, that going back to what you said about not eating out of the containers, one of the things that was really helpful for me is to find their measurement equivalents in like terms of cups. So like a full cup or 3/4 of a cup or whatever the measurements were. And then I just had that on the fridge. And then, you know, I was able to just use my tools that were in my kitchen for the most part in sort of scooping out of the rice or whatever. Because that's the other thing about the containers is like they're not really helpful for for the scooping.
True.
But if you start getting into your head that the green is equal to a full cup of vegetables, then you can just do it that way too. And that was helpful because a lot of mine had handles on them as well. So
yep, that's a great one too. That's a great suggestion. Another great suggestion there, again, there's an app. So maybe you don't want to plan ahead of time. You would rather kind of track it. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. Maybe you want to track it as you eat it. There is an app out there for that. There are tally sheets as well, so that you can kind of check off as the day goes. Or you can do a combination of both, because a lot of times maybe you plan to have this for a meal and something comes up and you end up going out. And so you can kind of like reconcile your day of like, this is what I plan to eat, this is what I actually ate, and then kind of go from there. So I hope these tips were helpful for you. They were. We've gotten a lot of good feedback from when we've done these calls that you know, it's nice to know. It's nice to know that everybody kind of starts out in the same place, and that, you know, giving yourself permission to kind of just like figure it out and to fumble and fail through. So I think that's exciting. Yep, that's what I've got for you today. So I know we ran a little bit over, and I apologize for that. But with that said, if you guys don't have anything else, I am going to go get ready. All right. Thanks for hopping on. I'll talk to you guys later.
talk to you later.
Bye.